Hello, I'm John Borrego, the interim priest at St. John's Episcopal Church in Norman, Oklahoma. And I'd like to share with you today a few pages from the book Living Simply Through the Day, Spiritual Survival in a Complex Age. It was published in 1977 and it was written by Tilden Edwards, who is an Episcopal priest and the founder and for many years the director of the Shalem Spiritual Development Group in Washington, D.C. I heard him speak a couple of times when I was a student at Virginia Seminary in the 1970s. He's a very interesting man because although he is an Episcopal priest, he integrates spiritual traditions from many different world religions in his thought and writing. And I thought at this time when perhaps we're being challenged to find new spiritual roots under the strange conditions we're living under, that he might have some wisdom for us about spiritual grounding in everyday life. That's the title of his chapter, is Grounding. It is late evening. We are alone, perhaps for the first time since we awoke. Bits and pieces from the day dart in and out of our consciousness. Little desires and fears for tomorrow scatter us further. The more that rushes through our minds, the more complicated and anxious life seems. Maybe TV will help settle us down, or the newspaper, or some works, or sex, or a big snack. Less seems to gnaw at us then. Life stays put for a moment. We feel in control again. We're, quote, doing something, anything. The after effects of the doing leaves us less anxious, but more drugged. We've exchanged a gnawing anxiety for a dulled sensibility. Maybe at least we can sleep now. We do on the surface, but not below. Our dreams are troubled. Fragments of life whir round and round without a center. We wake tired and struggle out for another round. And this is a few verses from the 7th chapter of the book of Job. Has not man a hard service upon earth? And are not his days like the days of a hireling? Like a slave who longs for the shadow, and like a hireling who looks for his wages. So I am allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I rise? But the night is long, and I am full of tossing till the dawn. You and I share such an underlife. It is usually bearable. It even seems normal out of sheer habit. Sometimes it is even fun, but it is not fulfilling. We are grown for more than that. When this becomes most clear, when the whole daily round feels most wearisome, we hear ourselves crying out in the psalmist's lament, "How long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I tromp through this dense jungle, half crazed and blind, before the clearing appears?" If the energy of our anger and desperation runs deep and long, then perhaps we are ready to let the clearing appear. The amazing thing is that the clearing always is present right where we are. Usually it is hidden behind a great dense pile of stuff, scattered thoughts, driving feelings, jerky body, crowded environment. When in our anger and desperation this clutter catches fire and begins to lighten, we might be gifted with fresh sight. Suddenly we see through the clutter, if only for an instant. What we see then is transparent and luminous, light and spacious, warm and full, a great dance united at every point. For a flash, we are fully present in a simple whole. Such wondrous openings we could call the Holy Spirit's transforming window. When it is open, the moment is open for insight and warmth, for wisdom and compassion. How can we live out of the simple, holy spaciousness that is there, always in our midst, that is in and through everything that is? How can we allow simple purity of heart so we, with Jesus, can see life in God instead of just seeing it neck deep in clutter? Anger and desperation may start us off, but we need far more if the clearing we have glimpsed in fact or hope is not quickly to be lost sight of again. There is no grand, clear-cut path, but there are many little ways we can simplify our inner life during the day. These ways can rake the leaves of our flighty, cluttered lives to the outer ring of consciousness. The center can be left simple, open, spacious. Of course, the leaves blow back over the center with every gust of wind, and there are so many layers of leaves. Raking must be constant and long. Firm commitment, deep acceptance, and naked confidence are three vital prerequisites of the simple way. Each of these attitudes has endlessly subtle layers of awareness. At the bottom of each lies the divine image in us, reflecting the very nature of God. We need a clear commitment to holy simplicity. Without it, we will not have the energy and attentiveness to see through our fascinations with all the leafy clutter. As I once heard Ram Dass say, we must really want God, which is far more and simpler than merely wanting to want God. We need a deep acceptance of ourselves, of all that is there, known and unknown. Even acceptance of our non-acceptance, total acceptance. Without full acceptance, we will distort the way of simplicity into a way of avoiding what we most fear or hate in ourselves. Or we will seek to root out sin and illusion with violence rather than compassion. Above all, we need to enter each day with a naked confidence. God will not give us more than we can bear. God is loving mystery beyond our understanding, beyond our atheism or theism or agnosticism. There is grace in all things. The very nature of life is confident. So you can afford to relax into the day without controlling expectations. Without this naked confidence, we will use the way of simplicity to secure and not free us, to create a protected other world rather than a fresh embrace of the one indivisible world. Since these three attitudes are so important to the simple way, they need very special attention. They are incomplete in all of us. Their growth is a gift beyond our full command. So before reading further, let me urge you to put the book down a moment. Close your eyes. Gently see yourself in the light of these needs. Then offer a fervent prayer that each basic attitude may be uncovered in you ever more fully. Practicing the little ways of simplification suggested in the pages ahead can encourage these three gifts. They are the ground that must always be remembered and nurtured. Thank you for listening, friends.